Hi everybody and welcome to SA Soccer Magazine's coverage of the World Cup. I'm with Oliver Keohane, otherwise known as the Money Boy, and I'm the Money Man, Kevin Ferguson, and we're going to chat a little bit about the upcoming World Cup. We're at the Convention Center in Canal Century City. What a great venue. And we're going to be doing a lot of shows out here over the next month with the World Cup, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh, let's get into it. I mean, straight away, it's an incredibly controversial World Cup.
Yeah.
And again, yesterday I picked up that a guy responsible for Middle Eastern studies in Britain, I'm not sure how credible it is, but said that the Qataris have offered 7.5 million to four Ecuadorian players to throw the first game 1-0.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hardly surprising, is it?
I mean, it's in line with the build-up, you know. First game, Qatar playing, the first opportunity to add more controversy to the situation, you know. So, like you're saying, it's not surprising that that's come out.
Yeah.
How true it is, we'll never know as a sort of layman kind of watching this. But yeah, hopefully they didn't take it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, and certainly I won't be betting much money on the first game with that in mind. You know, there's no way Qatar should be hosting the World Cup. Everybody knows that, except for Qataris. And it's hard. I think this is the first of many controversies in this World Cup.
Look, they have hired some fake England fans as well. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've heard that. Yeah. Look, it makes for a bit of a spectacle and a farce. So without much fanfare, let's look at the groups. Group A, you've got Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands.
Yeah, Senegal, obviously, big talking point, you know, confirmed yesterday that Mane not playing.
Yeah.
You know, which is an incredibly bleak situation for the country. I think, like, in terms of sort of Africa's representation at this World Cup, you know, a lot of people are going to be hedging their bets on Senegal to progress, and Mane very much is the heart of that team, you know.
Well, a lot of Cameroonians would disagree with you and say that, you know, that for Africans, you know, they're also in it as well. And I think Ghana's in it, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm saying in terms of if you look at Senegal's quality.
A huge omission, huge injury for them, and not the kind of injury a country like that comes back from.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, it certainly moved them from potential qualifiers to potential early exiters of the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty straightforward for most of the groups.
Yeah.
I mean, you always say this, but it's soccer, so anything can happen. It's not sort of a game of rugby where you've got to win by multiple points. You can score a goal in Park, and somehow a team that's, you know, lower seeded gets through. But I think if you look at the groups, you got a pretty good idea of who's going to be coming through at the top. You know, Group A, Netherlands should progress ahead of Qatar, Ecuador, and Senegal in terms of finishing top. You know, Group B, you've got England. They're playing Iran in their first game. I don't see them losing to Iran. You know, I think they're going to come out on top there.
It'll be interesting in being a Welshman that Wales playing USA on Monday.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Good. You know, Wales have got a decent side, and you know, certainly have every chance of qualifying out of that group. So I think England and Wales will qualify from there. I think Netherlands and Ecuador and Senegal out of Group A. Group B, C for me, Argentina, and...
Do you see Mexico boxing it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, they're good enough. France and Denmark for me. In Group D, Spain and Germany.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Belgium. I see Belgium and possibly Canada. They're my surprise. Look, they're the ones that have shot up the most in ranks in FIFA rankings.
Yeah.
Okay, I spent 17 years in Canada, so there's a bit of bias, but they've got a good, decent side. Brazil for me, and something about Serbia with their quality in attack.
Serbia definitely a potential dark horse for this tournament.
Yeah.
There's a few floating.
And you can get them at 166 to 1. You know, get into the. Oh, I've already taken it at 200 and something to 1, and Portugal. Probably Portugal and Uruguay for me.
Yeah, I think, you know, we may chat about it a bit later, but for me, Uruguay, potential contenders, not necessarily to win this tournament, but I think to get further than than many may predict. You know, you've got Luis Suarez playing alongside Darwin Núñez. You know, Edison Cavani's up there. I mean, you know, older players, but still quality players. And they look good when they last played.
Yeah.
So,
well, what team do you think that's supposed to do well that won't do well?
Portugal.
For me, I think it's France. Eh?
Think so?
Yeah, I just think that France will flatter to deceive at this World Cup.
They kind of got all the makings to do so too. You know, sort of like star-studded team, fairly young squad.
Yeah, ego-driven.
And Pogba and Kante's absence, I think, a big thing too. You know.
Yeah. No, I just think that I think England will disappoint, not in the group stages, but they'll disappoint and get knocked out early.
Yeah.
Which is probably a blessing for Tottenham. But yeah, I think that those. What do you think about a team? Who would you say is a dark horse or a team that you think will do better than punch above their weight at the tournament?
For me, it's Uruguay. I think I've just got a good feeling about them. You know, Núñez and Luis Suarez seem to have a very good relationship, passing over the old guard to the new guard. You know.
Yeah.
There's that Liverpool kind of connection there, and you saw how much better Núñez played when playing with him for Uruguay when he was initially struggling in the Premier League at the start of the season. So I like them. I like their team. I think they've got a good shot at progressing further than a lot of people think. I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think in soccer generally, like, if you look at the quality of the top 5-6 teams, I don't see any of those teams not winning it. If you get what I'm saying, I don't see a team coming from out of the top 6, out of the top 8, boxing a win. I think there's too much quality in that top 6, you know, and very little separates them. But
very little separates them. I mean, it's a World Cup that any 6 teams could win.
Yeah.
I think for my money, it would have to be on Holland. You know, they attack as well as anybody at the tournament.
Really, is that your?
Yeah, look, they've been quietly, very much under the radar, putting together a very strong, compact unit, and their results have been pretty good. So I like Holland. I think Holland will do better than people expect because there's no expectations on them.
They falter in the Euros.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was a Euros. This is indoor soccer in climate-controlled things. I like that. Who doesn't?
For me, it's Argentina.
To win the World Cup?
To win the World Cup, and maybe gonna not necessarily throw logic out the window, but I feel like one's head can back one's heart here. My heart wants Messi to win with Argentina. But
it would be a great script, yeah?
It would be, but I mean, if you look at the quality of their squad, they've on I think the best unbeaten streak of any international side at the moment.
They haven't lost in 35 games.
Yeah. Messi integral to that, you know.
Yeah.
Being given allowed the responsibility that he maybe wasn't allowed at PSG last year, still to an extent isn't, this year, regardless of how well he's been playing. They've got a really nice combination of some young players, but if you look at the average age of the squads, I think Argentina are like 4th or 5th for older squads, but it's not ridiculously old. I think the average age is 27 or 28.
There's nobody going to be Zimmer framing up and down the pitch. Yeah?
Exactly, and I think there's a good blend there, and I really think that they, for me, the biggest direct competitor is Brazil. Because if you look at Brazil's squad, it is just, if you look at who they left out of that squad, you can't
look. I think they gave up 5 goals. So when you look at the Golden Boot betting, there's 4 Brazilians in the top 10. Yeah. So what does that tell you? When you look at that, and then you look at the fact that they conceded 5 goals in the 17 qualifying matches.
Well, I mean, you look at their goalkeepers are Edison and Alisson.
Yeah.
Their strike force is the Premier League's best strike force, basically, with a couple of sprinklings from other tournaments. It's insane the sort of squad depth they've got. I think the only people that potentially match that sort of star-studded squad is France. But like you said, you just don't feel that there's necessarily maybe the temperament, the history of success there for France to.
The temperament's the main thing for me, because you've got Mbappe that to me is probably one of the most selfish players in the world. Yeah. And I know how those guys fit into a team. They don't fit in very well when it's all about them. Whereas I see that the Brazilian, to me, my money, I'm going to put a lot of money. I'll be putting 5,000 down on Brazil to win at 4.75. Yeah. To me, there's no team that's besides their attacking prowess, their defensive capabilities and their goalkeeping. They've got it all.
Are you going to be laying that bet with anyone else, though?
No, I may take a tickle on Argentina because I think it will be one of those two teams that win it. But I think that Brazil haven't won it for 20 years now, and I think it's time, man. I just they've got so much quality coming through that team, so much.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They're not weak in any position.
I mean, they're the most successful side in the history of the tournament. I think they've progressed past. They've progressed to the quarterfinals in every single tournament that they've played in, which has been every single tournament. They haven't missed one,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, forever scarred by 7-2 in 2014.
Which is 7-2? 7-1.
In 2014, but yeah.
Look, for me, I don't look any further than Brazil. You may want to take a top 8 or 4 finish on Serbia. I think you get that at 14-1. But definitely going to put a lot of money on Brazil. I'm going to be backing Neymar at 15-1 to win the Golden Boot.
Really?
Yep, and Golden Glove as well. I'll be putting money on Alisson.
I suppose this is where Golden Boot or Golden Glove is so hard because a team gets knocked out in the quarterfinals, and it's like a player, say Harry Kane is at 8-1. He's the favourite there. Say England end up faltering in the quarterfinal.
Harry Kane's 10-1
really?
on Sunbet, and one of the things I'll be betting exclusively through Sunbets for no other reason other than I love their site.
Yeah.
They've got prop bets galore, and I've started playing around with that. I'm not tipping any of them yet until I get the hang of it, but I've been having a lot of fun on Sunbets.
Yeah, you can also alter your own odds, which is quite nice. It's got that sliding scale that allows you to sort of balance out the return and the.
I haven't even looked at that yet. I mean, I've just been. But
Get involved.
Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, for me, I'll be doubling down on Brazil to win this World Cup. I can't look past them. Huh?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm going with Argentina. I think either way, Messi or Neymar will be congratulating each other when it happens, as we saw in the Copa. Big controversy when Neymar went over to congratulate Messi for winning. Yeah, I mean, I love Lionel Messi. I hope that they win the World Cup. Germany would be my team, German lineage on my mom's side, but
yeah.
You got to look at the sort of footballing story that would be Messi, and potentially on his 1000th game too. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. The script is there for a Hollywood movie. I don't see it coming through, but great if it does. Fantastic if it does, because I think Piers Morgan asked Ronaldo in that interview, painted the scenario. You guys in the final, 2-2. You've both scored a brace. Ronaldo played the question down, but the point is there. I think the whole world knows that this is very much about a Messi or a Neymar sort of finish.
Yeah.
And hopefully something romantic does come out of this World Cup, because it's, like I said, it's been shrouded in controversy. The first game of the tournament's already been accusations of bribery, and it's not going to be the first.
Like a good news story to come from this, It's all started with bad news stories, and rightly so. But in terms of from a footballing perspective, is you would want something beautiful to come from this.
Yeah, I just hope that none of the fake England supporters collapse in the sun.
So in terms of betting perspective, at the moment I've taken 2 outright bets. And we'll obviously there's games going to be happening every second day, so we'll be tweeting, posting on Facebook.
Well, I think we're going to be doing a show every day that there's a live game, man. From what I understand. Or I will.
iPhones. So I've got a multi-bet on all the group stage winners except for Group E, because picking Spain or Germany is one of those that could potentially throw a spanner into the works for your multi-bet. But I've got Netherlands to win Group A, England to win Group B, Argentina Group C, France Group D, Belgium Group F, Brazil Group G, and Portugal Group H, and that gives you odds of 13-1.
Yeah.
Or 13.7-1. So I put down just 100 Rand. Hopefully, in the next few weeks I'll be 1,270 Rand up.
Sounds like
I do have Argentina. I have Lionel Messi, 100 Rand to be the top goal scorer. Just because I love the story. And that returns $1,100.
Nice. Look, I'm just going to be putting a lot of money on Brazil to win the World Cup. I have a lot of confidence in them, and You know, I might have a little tickle on Wales to advance and stuff like that. And heck, if Wales advance to the group stages, past the group stages, I might even fly over and see them play. But not exactly my top choice of destination.
No.
I've been to Doha in transit, and oh my God, it's oppressive heat, you know? And I couldn't wear my pride button either, so I was really upset about that.
The Welshmen love it though.
Of course the Welshmen love it. Anyway, look, to start the weekend, I think that with the Qatar and Ecuador, you know that Ecuador in the last 6-7 games, there's only been 2 goals. They've only in the last 6 games they've only had the top score was 1-0.
Well, you know that Qatar will be winning 5-0 though. So.
Well, they're willing to pay $7.5 million for allegedly for a 1-0 second half win.
Okay.
Yeah. So be careful betting that one. Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. And I like the under 3 goals in that game. I don't know what's
Do you like Wales at 3-1 to beat USA?
At 3-1, yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's on Monday evening. And then I think, look, 1.60 on Netherlands against Senegal wouldn't necessarily be a bad one to combine in a multi-bet. Try to get to over 2.
Yeah. No?
But I mean, far from exhilarating games to start off.
Yeah.
Start off the tournament. And at the moment, I suppose it's very much speculation until you get some kind of form guide going. Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see what the injury rate is there, because this is an unprecedented November, December World Cup. The human body's never been tested in these conditions before, and it's going to make for even a more interesting show when we get back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Let's see how many guys survive
Still
this.
standing.
Yeah. Anyway, Ollie, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Kev.
Good to see you, bud.
You too.
Yeah, ciao.